Well, it still keeps coming out. Shit after shit after shit. I keep flushing it backwards and forwards and still more gunge comes out of it. It's all little bits of grain. It looks like the bloke had it connected to a mash tun rather than a boil kettle. I don't know what else to chuck inside it. Something very acidic or very alkaline. Don't know how much damage it would do to the brazed plates if they are presumably brazed by the bronzing on the edge here. To put some caustic in it or something to basically eat the matter all up and turn it into gunge and then just flush it all out. Because this is going on forever. In fact, I'd send it back, but the fact I've done most of the work would be more of a benefit to him than not. So there's not a lot of point. Every so often I'll do that and more crud comes out of it. At least it's going in the right direction, it's coming out rather than staying in, but I think I'm going to have to build a tri-clamp filter, a post-chilling filter that comes out of it just to catch any dog ends that are still lying around in it. Yeah, still that, even more. It never seems to end, just when you think you've got it. I'll leave it running 10-20 minutes. Turn it around the other way and a load of shit still comes out. We've still got that there, which was what was in it originally when I just plugged it in and washed it out. So, ideas, comments on postcards please. PBW or any shit like that just ain't man enough for it. It's going to have to be something with a bit more punch. I've tried trisodium TSP or whatever it is, trisodium phosphate, which is a cleaner. Obviously not enough, so I think the cheapest and easiest route is to get some caustic from the local hardware shop or Wilco's or somewhere and lob a load and mix that up into my pump sprayer and lob a load of that in for 30 minutes and try again. Flush it out a few times and see, because it's grain material, it's going to be quite hard to dissolve it, but I don't know what else to keep doing with it. Probably end up being shit anyway, and I'll end up going back to the ribcage chiller because I don't think two would fit in the opening of that. I think the other one's under here, yeah, the smaller one. So I'll have to see which one performs the best. Oh well, a few bits I've been waiting for turned up finally. Some from Screwfix as well, so that was just a local pickup. Those for a little plumbing pipe. We've got our little pipe retaining clips. A couple of T-clamps, tri-clamp T's, which will be for diverting the flow when we go to more solid pipe work than silicone. Also got a Triac variable power Dubry Firkin so that I can adjust the output power. A little bit iffy. It's supposed to handle 4,000 watts, 4 kilowatts, which is 19 amps, which is more than a fused plug would carry, let alone a Chinese European adapting English plug with no fuse in it and no earth, which is really good when you've got a metal case. And the circuit board is suspended right off of there via the 3 pins on the pot, which they didn't bother trimming down either. So I've put a sheet of plastic underneath there. We'll see how well it performs. It might need a fan in it as well, or it might go kaput. Who knows? But if it does, I'll just put a resistance SSR in it instead. Might have to put it in a bigger box then, but that one that works quite well. It was like 9 quid, 10 quid. You know, I couldn't even buy the Triac on its own, and well, I wasn't bothered with a meter, but I've got the old panel meter. But yeah, components, you know, you'd pay 10 quid for the case some places over here, but well, it's got 2 chances. Anyway, we had those bits turn up. What else was there? We had the the inch to half-inch adapter turn up. Now I looked on the specs of this pump and it said it was DN50, which is basically the metric abbreviation for a 1-inch BSP. That's a 1-inch BSP, a half-inch BSP, supposedly from Chingalinga-Ding-Dong. It screws in about halfway and then starts to go tight as if this is a taper thread. So I'm thinking, have they sent me an American NPT? So I went to my old knackered oil boiler, and after a bit of huffing and jeffing and a 36mm socket and a scaffold bar and a 3/4 inch drive socket, got that bar steward off and cleaned it up. And I know that's definitely good old British made cast iron BSP. That's the same. Doesn't screw in all the way either. So obviously Polski pump is not quite DN50 unless it's British pipe taper. Because that probably explains why you get in a few turns and then it starts to bind. But it's in far enough, hopefully, to do the job. So I've put a cam lock on, PTFE taped. This is all just screwed in loose, which is going to be the bit where you drop the keg down on. I haven't summed it up yet. I might have to raise the height of this against a keg. See if I can pick one up. I don't know whether these have got water in them or not. Not too bad. So yeah, a bit difficult to get that in shot. So that would probably do actually if I put a Jubilee clip there with a bracket, or maybe just adapt the lid on a brew bucket. An old brew bucket will be donated to the cause, and obviously that's just your gas in, liquid out pipes, a couple of corny keg leads and connectors to clean the dip tubes out at the same time. Quick test. Obviously it's going to lose a little bit out the joints because I ain't done them up yet, but if I know I can just get away with the one length of stainless tubing and not have to add in one of these little jobbies or a bit of that, I got my money back on that threaded fitting. I didn't bother responding until the last few minutes of the 4-day response time, but I got £2.06 back for that, which was 1/5 of the cost of all the fittings I bought off them, so it wasn't end of the world, but it's the principle, isn't it? But yeah, let's go and see if we can blow ourselves up with this one. But that's obviously, I might have to raise it up higher so the keg sits on a lid or something, I don't know. Depends on the reach of the top of the thread there. Now let's give it a get it in shot will help, won't it? Doesn't seem to go quite as high as it did before. Looks like we might be losing quite a bit of water out that thread just below the fitting, so that probably some of it, but seems to work. Ugh. So I just done another run, and it looks like there's quite a bit of water pressure coming out of there, which is obviously penalising the spray ball with 2 lots of water coming out of these two. But I think time we get some 3/8 thread on the 3/8 bear line to reduce them down, and then the restriction in the corny keg connectors should give us enough restriction and to increase the flow through the top, so I don't think there's going to be too much of an issue. Well, there she be, all taped up with PTFE. The dog hair out of the screen. Seems to work okay. The restriction with these is putting back the power to the ball, and obviously you can undo the quick disconnects and they obviously like shut off anyway, so if you give it a little while just to flush the dip tubes out, pull them away, then obviously they're not taking any power away, and it goes up. It works. Well, it seems to work. I'll put the little bit of phone footage that some of you will have already seen on BrewTube in now. I think that gives it a good blowout. It seems to do its job. I just salvaged a bit of old 3/8 beer line to push on. That's just warmed it up and shoved it on, done the job. It's not blown off. There's enough movement, it can rotate there. The only thing I did find, because this stuff's a bit rigid, that one's kinked already, so I think I need to probably swap this out for something more flexible, which I'll sort of have to have a look at sometime. Now the white ones seem to go on okay. You can see a bit of muck off the O-rings, but this bloody black one, I tried all of them. They do not like fitting on the liquid outposts. I think some of it was down to the fact, obviously, the pin lock on the post is gummed up with beer that's dried out and gone sticky. So the next thing is to find a suitable size pipe. They go on the end of that hose barb and fit one of the cam locks. And that sort of fit there, so something that sort of size maybe. I'll have to measure that out and probably get 1.5 meters, couple of meters of hose from somewhere. Then obviously you just use the same bucket. Got the old, I think that was my first brewing bin ever back in the day. So that would just sit there, come out and connect to the outlet, goes into the bucket, and the pipe will come up, connect in the top, and that will just resuck. Are you feeling sick? Through there I can put a tri-clamp filter in or something, so that you just recirculating all the shit. Well, obviously you do a run through and flush out all your worst yeast deposit with a bit of hot water and then dump that, and then find something suitable as a CIP wash. Again, anyone that's watching, comments welcome for that. I don't know what the situation is with sort of 5-star products now, PBW and Star San. I've got the one that chemical firm formulated to copy Star San, the English one. So yeah, a CIP cleaner that can obviously, because there will be these to recirc clean as well via the pumps. So yeah, it might be something I'll look at, something economic, even if I have to buy a drum, but I don't want to be spending 60-70 quid on a drum load of brewery chemical. So yeah, cheaper option, probably caustic. There's nothing brass in here anyway, so that shouldn't bugger anything up. Anything brass will be obviously the brazing of that plate chiller. But then obviously that could be mitigated just taking it out of circuit. But obviously we'll see how that performs on the day, as it were. So yeah, we're back to square one again now. Waiting for good old Lang Shampoo to deliver more from Tripitaka, so we can carry on a little bit further. I've got to put my flow meter in as well. That's sort of the next job I'm looking at, the electrics and the flow meter.